What if I told you that history conceals its darkest secrets beneath layers of deception? That shadowy organizations like the Smithsonian or the Vatican manipulate the very fabric of our past. These are all concerns I'm sure a lot of you have, and we're going to lightly cover a few of the theories of these ancient mysteries, where whispers of cover-ups and conspiracies are nothing but common occurrences and could actually be the truth. Shadow agencies are most definitely everywhere, and we need to get educated. So let's begin. In 1909, an article in the Arizona Gazette reported an expedition to the Grand Canyon, financed by the Smithsonian Institution, that claimed to have found artifacts suggesting ancient people migrated here from the Orient. These discoveries included tablets with hieroglyphics, copper weapons, statues of Egyptian deities, and even mummies. Now, what? So first it was only Native Americans in the Americas. Then it was later said that no, it was actually the Vikings that came here before Columbus. Happy Leif Erikson Day, because the Vikings apparently traded with the Native Americans centuries prior. And now, ancient Egyptians? Man, this suggests that the Smithsonian initially supported the expedition once they were called in to help properly excavate the artifacts that were found, and that they later either concealed or destroyed the evidence in order to protect established historical narratives. This wasn't all either. They've been accused of withholding certain ancient technologies recovered from archaeological digs, metallic enigmas that defy reason and time itself, machines of unfathomable design, artifacts showing ancient humans living with, or at least knowing of, the existence of dinosaurs, and that we have found evidence of ancient civilizations like the lost city of Atlantis and the mythical land of Lemuria. I mean, they're even alleged to have found some ancient artifacts of humans in something that looks like spacecraft, remnants of a forgotten age. And speaking of spacecraft, if they're doing all of this to the history of the Earth, then you know they're most likely involved in the covering up of recovered alien technology as well. Whether UFO extractions that took place in the past, up to recent UFO cover-ups. Some conspiracy theories suggest that the Smithsonian, along with other government agencies, is covering up evidence of extraterrestrial life and ancient alien visitations. The Smithsonian has allegedly assisted with the recovery of certain archaeological finds and housed them with certain government agencies. I may have to do more research into who actually started this institution, because there are around too many controversies and conspiracies that there has to be fire where all this smoke is coming from. Controversies are not. And speaking of where there's smoke, there's fire, check this out. The Smithsonian is involved with another controversy, and this is regarding the complete concealment of the existence of giant humans. Giants, creatures of myth and legend, whispered about across the ages. The conspiracy theory suggests that giant human skeletons, significantly larger than the contemporary humans, have been discovered at archaeological sites worldwide. Giants, or larger than the average man, have been mentioned in almost every culture and myth around the world.
Looked as though they were worn by giants.
The idea that giant bones were actually found in a cave in Nevada may sound far-fetched to some. But the truth is that there were many such discoveries reported during the Wild West.
In the southwestern United States, there's several very strange stories of these dead corpses or skeletons being found regularly. In terms of the reports of giants, this is a compelling motif. People were fascinated by this idea of a giant race that had lived here previously. And this connects to a lot of biblical belief that tended to be fairly literal back in the day. And the Bible talks about back when there was a race of giants that lived among the earth. And so, for many people in the Wild West, when you see some skeletons dug out of the earth that seem to corroborate this, this was an affirmation of literal biblical beliefs as well.
Is it really possible that a race of giants once inhabited the Old West, as the numerous discoveries reported throughout the 1800s suggest? And if so, was evidence of these giants recovered in Lovelock Cave?
And they were cannibals. According to the Paiutes, they naturally grew tired of being cannibalized, and they confronted these giants.
A war was started between the giants and the Paiute people. For 3 years, they battled one another. The last of the giants holed themselves up in the Lovelock Cave, and the Paiute people stuffed the openings with a bunch of brush and firewood and lit the place on fire. And that was the end of the red-haired giant cannibals.
From the Native American stories like the Choctaw legend of the cannibal giants, the Choctaw Nation, these stories come from the southeastern part of the United States. Their legend is about a tribe of cannibal giants known as the Ishotopa, or people eaters. Monstrous beings who preyed on humans. The Choctaw people had to devise clever strategies to outwit and defeat them. Stories of giants also come to us from the Bible as well, and its stories on the Nephilim, giants from the time before the Great Flood, that were birthed when the sons of God went to the daughters of man and had children by them. In the Bible, they were known as the heroes of old and the men of renown. The book, The Ancient Giants Who Ruled America, by Richard J. Dewhurst, is a great look into this subject. I highly recommend it. But places like Japan, China, multiple European countries, old America, they all told of legends regarding giants. Maybe there was some truth to it. Maybe. I mean, giants. We're talking about giants. This is insane because I explicitly remember reading a speech given by President Lincoln. I believe it was in the fall of 1848. The president had stopped by to visit Niagara Falls. Stated that he stopped by the falls just to take a break and relax by it. And it inspired him to start writing about the area. Here's what was stated. It calls up the indefinite past when Columbus first sought this continent, when Christ suffered on the cross, when Moses led Israel through the Red Sea, nay, even when Adam first came from the hand of his maker. Then, as now, Niagara was roaring here. The eyes of that species of extinct giants, whose bones fill the mounds of America, have gazed on Niagara, as ours do now. Contemporary with the whole race of men, and older than the first man, Niagara is strong, and fresh today as 10,000 years ago. The mammoth and the mastodon, now so long dead, that fragments of their monstrous bones alone testify that they have ever lived, have gazed on Niagara. This is Lincoln saying this, that giants have existed before man, and Niagara is strong and fresh today as it was 10,000 years ago? So what's up with the Smithsonian? Did they betray our trust to preserve their sinister agenda? Or was it an agenda of another, more powerful organization? the ones really pulling the strings.
They say this thing had been dead for maybe a day or two. We estimated his size at approximately 12 to 10 feet tall. The giant killed the first team that they came across. He was extremely big and fast and agile for a guy that size.
The popes and the agents of the Holy See have known about the giants for many centuries.
And do you believe that they have artifacts from the past that would help explain some of what's going on?
Absolutely sure.
The Vatican knows all the secrets.
Our quest for covered-up secrets leads us to the Vatican, where an intricate web of power that has persisted for over 1,000 years. At the Vatican's heart is the Pope, head pontiff, spiritual leader for over 1 billion people worldwide, God's vicar and representation on earth. But have you heard of the Black Pope? What about the Great Pope? What about the Vatican's secret archive? Did you know that the archives are over 50 miles long of restricted and hidden books that is often seen as our true and actual history, and all that's being hidden? While the Vatican has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories, there have been historical events and controversies in which the Vatican's involvement or complicity has been established or widely accepted. These events are not theories but documented occurrences. The Vatican Bank scandals in the 1980s. The Vatican Bank got caught being involved in a major financial scandal. The bank's dealings with the Banco Brasiliano, an Italian bank, led to the disappearance of billions of dollars. And even Banco Brasiliano's chairman, Roberto Calvi, was found dead in London in 1982. Some real mob shit. Also, the involvement in World War II and the Holocaust. Apparently during World War II, there were allegations of the Vatican's reluctance to openly condemn Nazi Germany's actions, including the Holocaust. While Pope Pius's stance during the war remains a subject of debate, some critics argue that the Vatican did not do enough to resist or speak out against the persecution of Jews and other minority groups. Hitler was a devout Catholic and responsible for one of the worst wars and atrocities that this earth may have ever seen. Even in Mein Kampf, Hitler proclaimed God and the church, yet there was no excommunication order given from the Pope. Hell, even throughout Hitler's campaign, you could see videos and pictures of him still partaking in Sunday service at church from time to time. This is shady. The P2 Masonic Lodge scandal. In the 1980s, a scandal involving the propaganda dude Masonic Lodge in Italy implicated numerous high-ranking officials and prominent individuals, including several members of the Vatican hierarchy. The P2 Lodge was involved in political manipulation, corruption, and illegal activities. Modern-day Rome looking a lot like ancient Rome, in my opinion. And of course, the sexual abuse scandals. We all know about these as well. Over the years, the Catholic Church has faced widespread allegations of sexual abuse by clergy members and allegations of cover-ups by the church hierarchy, sending priests accused of rape and molestation to other churches in other parts of the world, all while simultaneously protecting them from the law, and even going as far as changing some of their names. This is not good coverage for the church at all. These scandals have led to legal actions, investigations, and settlements worldwide. I mean, we all know, shit, even your average Catholic knows and understand how corrupt the Vatican has been and can be. So aside from political and criminal cover-ups, there are plenty of other alleged theories that suggest suppressed knowledge, evidence of extraterrestrial life, and hidden biblical truths. Are these claims a mere smokescreen, or do the archives indeed house ancient mysteries beyond our imagination? Or would they eventually become revealed as being true, like the scandals I mentioned earlier? The suppressed knowledge of hidden texts and evidence of extraterrestrial life, or what's hidden in the secret vaults, is one prominent conspiracy theory that suggests the Vatican's secret archives contain suppressed knowledge and hidden text that challenges the official doctrines of the Catholic Church. Hidden secrets like Jesus being made up. There are reports that the Vatican archives have proof of communication between Emperor Nero and St. Paul regarding the existence of Jesus. These theories state that the Vatican is hiding proof that Jesus Christ did not exist, and that this is all a fabrication. And even these hidden texts are said to include alternative versions of biblical stories, early Christian writings, and even information on extraterrestrial life. I mean, I've even heard of rumors like dragon bones, alien heads, and especially mythological ancient artifacts. They say that the Vatican's secret archives house information about ancient artifacts that could reshape our understanding of history. Some are rumored to be from an advanced civilization from the past, and even some being mythological as stated earlier. Like I've heard that the legendary sword of King Arthur could be there, and even the Spear of Destiny, the actual spear of the Roman soldier that pierced Jesus while he was being crucified. Man, they really ain't shit for keeping our own history away from us. And knowledge of lost civilizations. Another theory suggests that the Vatican possesses knowledge of lost or advanced civilizations such as Atlantis or Lemuria, and is part of a global conspiracy to conceal this information. These theories claim that the Vatican plays a certain role in controlling historical narratives, and sometimes work with institutions like the Smithsonian to keep wraps on any new discoveries. Proponents of this theory often point to references in ancient texts and historical documents that hint of the existence of advanced civilizations, and suggest that the Vatican is aware of these clues. Some conspiracy theories connect the Vatican's secret archives to knowledge of apocalyptic events and prophecies. It's alleged that the Vatican is aware of impending cataclysms, cosmic alignments, or other world-changing events. If you guys have never heard of what a breakaway civilization is, I'm begging y'all to look into it. And if you want, I can work on the video regarding that as well. Let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comment section. And so, to sum it all up, it's the overall theory of historical manipulation from institutions like these two, the Smithsonian and the Vatican, that has people wondering if what we're reading about in our history books or being told through science and media, it leaves us wondering how much of this shit is actually true. Like, were giants really just a myth, or were they true? Does the Vatican host some otherworldly artifact or possess knowledge of Jesus being conjured up by Nero of Rome? I mean, why else would they have a restricted library if not to suppress known history? That type of shit would not fly if this was a regular institution. Most institutions have to open their books up to the public and to the law. But in countries like the United States of America, churches don't have to show where their money is going and coming from. It makes institutions like these safe havens for money laundering. Hell, as the Vatican already got in trouble for that back in the 1980s. Them still being allowed to operate makes no sense to me. But hey, there's power in having over 1 billion people believing you're the living representation of God on earth. Everything that's done by the church can just be blamed on the individual pastor or bishop, while the others involved in the institution get away scot-free. Now, that's power, my friends. I appreciate you guys for staying this long through the video. What do you guys think? Are these theories too far gone to believe in? Or is this something you already knew and assumed everyone else did as well? And in the future, I'll be doing a deep dive into the institutions covering up what gets found at the Giza Plateau in Egypt as well. So, please leave comments down below on what I should cover next, guys. And be safe, everyone.